Well, welcome back. We've done a couple upgrades since last time we looked at this. This video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk more about upgrades and a little bit of a how-to on the razor parts. Let's first go over a couple things. I know you've seen the tree kickers, or you will see the tree kickers when we get to the Tennessee videos. One of the new upgrades we've done so far is this HMF winch bumper. Didn't do a video for it, but I'll just kind of go over a couple things. It's got a mounting point here on the frame. This is what I liked, because some of these bumpers you see don't have that extra mounting point. And then down here you've got your 3 screws, or check that, 3 bolts. And then up there your 2 bolts over where the winch plate is. It's looking like a pretty solid unit. During our last trip, we were at Winch again. The videos will be out here after a bit. We had a winch failure. That's not to say this setup isn't a good setup. It worked really well for the time we had it. It was on the razor during the flood at the house here, so it did spend 6 hours underwater. Didn't quite make it. A lot of grinding going on, and the relay inside the razor isn't in a good shape right now. It's having a hard time, so we went ahead and got a replacement. You can see some cables over here already. We went with the newest addition to the Warn family, the AXON series. This is the 55S, S for synthetic, and it's a 5,500 pound Warn winch. AXON is the line. This is kind of an unboxing, I guess, too. It came with the new fair lead, this really cool rubber controller, dash switch, wiring harness. I'm replacing the bus bar on the razor, so that's not something that came with the kit. New battery cables, a winch hook, or a winch line hook. One thing you'll notice is there's no relay. I didn't realize this till it came, but there is no relay with this winch. It is all internal. So all we're going to do is run battery hot and ground to the winch, and it's going to run itself. They're claiming this is digital technology, and it's got some waterproofing ratings that are supposed to be really good. So get your owner's manual and all that stuff there, and here's some bolts. We're going to try and match it up with this HMF bumper. There's some modifications that are going to have to go on, but we'll address those as I go. So stick around and let's get this done. Okay, the first thing I've done is pull the seats out and take this trim cover off in the center here. If you're a razor owner and don't know how to take out your seats by now, I really feel real bad for you. It's probably something you should look into learning. This trim comes off. There's the 4 bolts here, and then the trim clips, and this pops off over top of your seat belts and your shifter. You can tell this is the original relay for my Super ATV winch. It has seen better days. You know, probably could have prevented some of that with more dielectric grease or cleaning it more often. Some things my friend Jason says I should probably do. But regardless, here we are. And we're going to pull it out, and I'll show you the rest of the process. I think this is pretty much the end of the video from in here, because everything else, thanks to that internal relay, is going to be done up front I just have to figure out where all these wires came from and do something with them. Okay, I just want to take a quick second to address what you're looking at here. I know some of you have been subscribers to the channel for a while. You've seen a different truck in the driveway. Well, I'll cut to a clip real quick here and maybe you'll understand what's going on.
The camper brakes are not working. Dad almost crashed into somebody. But the truck brakes did it. You're just gonna have to get a dually. Said he needs more rubber on the road.
So, as you've seen, there was an issue. And thanks to the flood and other various things along the way with that truck, the trailer brakes had issues, and after the flood we started having other electrical issues, so we ordered a new truck. Christopher was right. That's exactly what we were going after, was a dually. This is a 2019 3500 HD 4-door LT. The LTs will have the bench seat in the front, and that's what we ordered. The problem was, if you can't tell from the other stuff going on around here, we just had our second natural disaster. 6 months and 7 days after the flood, we had a tornado come through. The tornado ripped a bunch of trees down. This whole area where I'm at was a war zone. You can see a lot more now because all the trees that are gone. And the tornado dropped a tree on our camper, which we're pretty sure is going to be totaled. That's at a repair shop right now. And it dropped a tree on our house, ripped through the roof. So, now we've got a dually truck and we've got no toy hauler. Things are in the works. We'll kind of keep you updated and show you what's going on when it goes on, but for now I just wanted to address that little difference here and get everybody up to date. So let's get back to the Razor. Okay, we cut the relay out. I say cut because I did some cutting here. I did unbolt it and take out the wireless transmitter, and I left the power and ground that I ran coming up from the battery. I wrapped up the power, and the ground is just zip tied here, just in case we were to put something in here we'd need power and ground for, straight from the battery. It'll be there. I guess we'll keep working. All right, as Gabriel can show you, we got it back together. You ready for a ride?
Why?
Yeah. Got the center console back in.
Why?
Get everything put back together. We're gonna move on. We're gonna take some of this dash apart and the hood and start working on the new winch. Okay, so we're onto the dash. All there was the screw here and the screw here, and then these tabs here, 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 and there. And all you gotta do is just push it forward and it'll unlock. You can see the top of our rugged radio in there. It's a little dirty, but that's what happens. First we got to remove this bus bar. I had a little incident where I tried to use a power tool instead of using a hand tool, and I stripped out some threads. We made it work, but I ordered a new one. I think I showed it to you earlier, and that'll get done. And then right here is one of these is the light bar switch, and the other one is the winch switch. We're going to replace that with, let me show you if I can find it. This switch right here. This is going to go in the dash, right where that was. I'm assuming this is out and this is in, but it only plugs in one way, so we'll figure it out. Okay, to make this simple and quick, I just swapped the wires over. I snuck in my new winch wires and the new power wire for the winch harness, and now I'm going to take off the old bus bar and bolt the new one into place, and we should be done with this part. And there we go. I did put a zip tie along the bottom here just to hold everything together and keep wires from getting pulled. And of course we're putting dielectric grease on everything. I've got actually a spray of dielectric grease I'm going to dig out and get everything sprayed down good before we close it all up. And let's move on to the next part of the process. Okay, I'll just bring you up to speed. I fed the harness through the grommet, the dash. I fed this key hot through the dash as much as I could to keep it out of here. I'm getting ready to take this switch out here, and then I routed my 3 wires that need to go to the winch through the front here. Obviously a lot of this stuff is just dealer choice. I mean, where do you want to route it? Where do you want to zip tie it up to? I honestly don't know what this white wire is, but we're going to zip tie it up because it must be important. Obviously this isn't where this stuff is going to go. We're not going to leave that up against the radiator like that here. It's going to get zip tied up along with this harness and around this frame. So, alright, we'll check back when we got some more done. Okay, so I popped out the old switch. If you don't have these cut out already, on the back side of this plastic there's a line where you cut. You can use a utility knife or a little Dremel tool or whatever. Just wanted to kind of cut to this part to show you that this is just going to snap right in where the factory switch went, or the factory size switch anyways. And let's move on. Okay, just a quick note I just learned here. I guess I should have figured out by looking at it, but when you plug this in, you plug it in until it snaps, and then there's a terminal position assurance clip. I think that's what GM calls them anyways. You push down to lock it in place. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put this piece in. This is where you plug in your winch if you're using the remote. Not the wireless remote, but the one that you push button, that heavy duty rubber one I showed you. Now, I was going to put it here, but this isn't a piece of plastic that I'm going to replace. If we do end up getting the ride command for this machine, which is possible in the future, I decided to put it here just in case I wanted to put it somewhere else later, or this is a little bit more replaceable than this body piece, and if we don't like it here, it's not that big a deal. Like I said, it's a little bit more replaceable. So we're going to use a stepper bit here. If you don't have one of these and you own a razor, you probably should, unless you never want to put accessories on. These are pretty much invaluable and they're not that expensive. And all we're going to do is just drill through up to the size we need to stick this through the hole, and then we bolt the other side on and we're done. Alright, well that's what we came up with. Not 100% sure that's what it's supposed to look like. The key to these stepper bits though is not go too far all at once. I had the hole perfect. Then I tried to do a little adjusting and it didn't quite work out for me, but I mean, this isn't a show truck by any means. I'm not sure how if this is supposed to work like this either. It probably isn't, but it seems to work okay. It did fit fine in the hole until I put that rubber gasket behind it. But as advertised, it's all waterproof. So I guess we'll run it and see what happens. Alright, so we got all the electrical wrapped up. Now it's time
For the winch.
the bad boy himself, the 55S. I'll show you what's going on here. Let me grab that from you. We're having a little fitment issue. You want to grab those wires out of the way for me? It doesn't quite go all the way down.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna have to go like, it's gonna be rubbing on this, and it'll probably break the cable.
Well,
Like the more it rubs, it'll break the cable.
I don't think that's going to be our issue. What we're going to do is we're going to mark this plastic here. We're going to get it set above the holes as best we can. Then we're just going to cut out some of this bumper. Or I'm sorry.
Like, cut like right here. Like cut
No.
like right here.
Nope.
What are you gonna do?
You just wait and see. So we're going to do a little bit of modification. I know I said that in the beginning. Probably have to modify both sides to get it to set right. It may not look super pretty when we're done, but a 5,500 pound Warn AXON synthetic rope winch, it's going to be well worth it. Okay, let me catch you up on where we're at here. Took my little drywall trimming tool and I cut the plastic out a little bit at a time to make sure this is going to fit. I've connected my harness and hot and ground. As you can see, we have a lot left over. Not really sure how that's going to go. We're just going to feed it back in there and set the winch down and bolt it on. Then we can put our fair lead on. And I hate to get too excited about this project, but I think we're almost done. So let's get this winch fed in. Okay, it's mounted up. It took a little bit to get it squeezed in there. This is a 5,500 pound winch. It probably should only have a 4,500 pound, but go big or go home, right? We got a notch cut out there. It worked out really well. That's regrettable, but it is what it is to make it fit. You won't even notice it when we're done. The bolts on here underneath were a little tight. Kind of hard to get in there.
Whoops.
We made them work.
Wait.
Now we're going to do a function test. Okay, quick tip about the HMF bumper here. These are the bolts for the fair lead to go in. They're not quite fitting. So we're going to run them in with the impact and then just tighten the nut on the back side. Because I think it's close enough just to screw it in. It just could be the paint. But we're going to try that and see how it works. Okay, we're back. I did end up having to drill those holes out. Those were a little too small. But just a quick drill bit in and out. Everything's tightened up and ready to go. Put the winch hook on. I do want to get that more advanced, or whatever they call it, Warn winch hook, compared to this one. I'm not sure what this little circle thing does, but for now, until I get a rubber bumper, or maybe I'll just leave it like this, that's where the hook's going to stay. So we're going to wrap these wires up and give her a little test run. Hang on. Okay, we got all the wires wrapped up and out of the way. And like I said before, that's kind of dealer's choice. Whatever you think works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it, I don't think anyways. We're going to do a little bit more function test here. Try out our new release.
Ooh. Wait, I think you might.
Christopher, go ahead, run that out for me. We're going to hook up to that metal right there. Okay, so we're hooked up. For obvious reasons, we didn't wrap the winch line around the metal. I got a different line around there. You don't want to ruin our brand new winch cable. Don't ever wrap your winch line around something. Use a strap. The synthetic winch line is not as tough when it comes to that kind of stuff as a steel cable. But in my opinion, the benefits outweigh that stuff. So we're gonna engage the winch.
Oh, can I reel it in? Or can I just be a Walkman? Go for winch.
So there it is, the brand new Warn AXON 55S, mounted on our 2017 Razor 4900, mounted on a HMF winch bumper. I don't remember the exact model, but you'll figure it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave us a like and make sure if you haven't subscribed. Also, if you're subscribed, make sure you hit that notification button so you see our new videos when they come out. I would like to mention here, we are up over 50 subscribers. When we hit 100, we're going to do our first giveaway. I'll give you more details as we get closer. I'm pretty excited. So we'll see you guys in the next video.